Meghan Markle wore this dress in New York City recently, which was from the photo shoot from the Cut magazine, I believe it was. It has come out that Meghan Markle, when she has done photo shoots, she and her team discuss with the team doing the photo shoot, who are supplying the clothing, that Meghan must take the clothing that is featured in the photographs home with her, because they could fall into the wrong hands and be auctioned off for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Meghan doesn't want anyone else to have those clothes and be able to auction them off or sell them off. Because in her twisted mind, she believes that the clothing that she has worn will carry the same value as the clothing that Princess Diana once wore, which has been auctioned off for hundreds of thousands of dollars at times. Meghan thinks that she is on the same level as Diana there. Isn't that insane? That is crazy. But that is why Meghan Markle keeps the clothing from every photo shoot that she does. So please, community, do not be surprised when you see Meghan Markle in an outfit or a clothing item or a piece that she has worn in a photo shoot in the past, because she has convinced people that there is a very real risk that they will fall into the wrong hands and be auctioned off, and she doesn't want those people to get that money or to have access to auctioning off clothing that she once wore for a photo shoot. So Meghan demands that she is allowed to take home everything that is featured in the photo shoots. So you guys just don't be surprised. This is what she's been doing. And this story has multiple sources confirming that this is what she does at photo shoots. And we have seen her in outfits and dresses from previous photo shoots. And her team is like, oh, it's just a standard practice. But her team also corroborated that story and said that, yes, she does keep the clothing, not just because it's standard practice, but because she doesn't want it to fall into the wrong hands. Her team confirmed that little tidbit. So that story I do believe is true. And I just, don't be surprised. She's not stealing it, but she did manipulate the situation to convince them that the only way she will participate in this photo shoot is if she gets to keep the clothing, for the delusional reason that she thinks somebody will ever pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for something that she once wore. It makes no sense. I don't see her carrying that same weight at all. Part of why Diana's clothing or memorabilia involving Diana goes for so much at auctions, one of the caveats is that oftentimes it goes to charity. When somebody auctions off something of Diana's, not all the time, but there have been a lot of times that it went to charity for a good cause. So that feels very different than what Meg is talking about. But one of the biggest reasons why Diana's memorabilia or clothing or things like that carries that much value is because she passed away so young, and because she was the mother of the heir to the throne, Prince William, and she was married to Prince Charles, and she was going to be queen one day before the divorce. Because of all of that, her clothing and memorabilia carry so much more value than anything Meghan could ever imagine. Like, those are just two completely different ballparks, miles and miles apart in significance. It's crazy. I mean, like, could you imagine, like, Fergie auctioning off her clothing for hundreds of thousands of dollars? Andrew's ex/still life partner lady? No, because Andrew is notorious and, no longer a prince and all of that, disgraced, duh. But also Andrew, before all that happened, if we separated out the scandals, Andrew was not going to be king, So it's the same sort of vibe with Harry. Like, him and his wife they do not hold the same level of prominence. And therefore, clothing or memorabilia from them is not going to hold the same value. So it's weird that she thinks that, but that is why she's been seen in outfits from photo shoots, and that is why she has been taking the clothing and why they've agreed to it. I mean, a lot of these publications, you're dealing with stylists and photographers and people of that nature, editors, who don't really necessarily follow the royal family stuff and don't necessarily understand the difference between Meghan and the real royals. They don't fully get it. And that's okay. Not everybody is interested in it. Not everybody pays attention to it. Not everybody is from the UK, the people who are Americans or from other countries who are not Commonwealth nations. I think it's safe to say the majority of them don't know the full dynamic or story and don't fully understand the station that Harry and Meghan have. And it's very much lowered status to the real royals, the working royals, and those in direct line to the throne, which Harry and Meghan are very much not really in that realm at all. So it's understandable to me that a team put together to execute a photo shoot with Meghan would just kind of be like, well, okay, this is what she said. I guess whatever. It's not that big of a deal. They'll write it off as an expense. But they should. I mean, it would be nice if they understood a little better and just said, no, that's dumb. But they don't. And that's one of the ways that Meghan takes advantage of the situation. She takes advantage of the fact that the majority of Americans don't really know that much about the royal family or the Sussex story. And that's what we saw playing out in the Netflix mockumentary, fake-cumentary, with the curtsy and all of that, and Meghan comparing meeting Queen Elizabeth to that tacky dinner theater experience. I don't even remember what it's called. I had never heard of it. But she thought that she could mock the traditions and Queen Elizabeth because she assumed that all Americans would just be like, oh, yeah, lame. She was wrong.